Hello and welcome to the Rugby Pro Day Dirt Round 29 preview, the penultimate round, 2 rounds to go. We've been doing these previews every round all season and a lot of last season as well. And if you appreciate that, please give us a like and a subscribe. 2 rounds to go. It's the last home games of the season for a lot of these sides, well, for half of them. We know how much of a difference that makes the home games in Pro Day Dirt. The clubs really do make an effort to fill out their grounds. You know, they'll do like deals or cheaper tickets to get everyone into the ground and sell it out for that final game of the season. And obviously the weather in France in early May is generally pretty good. And with some of the stakes of these games, for some of those home sides, expect a lot of fervour and a lot of noise. Before we kind of go more into Pro Day Dirt, just to kind of quick point, I am wearing my cast t-shirt because in tribute to Josiah Reisunga after the tragic news about his passing that emerged this morning. He played in Pro Day Dirt for Nevers, and he holds a special place in our hearts because of his time at Nevers, because of the infamous lifting of the ref. And yes, it might not be the best behaviour on field, but Josiah Reisunga embodies kind of so much about Pro Day Dirt in the way he played the game. He was, you know, a guy from Fiji, immensely talented, not kind of very particularly polished, and kind of a lot of raw talent, capable of some incredible things, played the game with a real joie de vivre, which is what we want, really loose, fallible, and loads of mistakes, but really loose player, really physical, really quick and hectic player. So rest in peace, Josiah. Thank you for the memories. And that will obviously have an impact on some of these games. But let's get into these games, and it is a big round for Pro Day Dirt generally because it's 2 games to go. Hopefully Pro Day Dirt, the LNR, have done this really cool graphic which shows where the teams can end up, basically, what's still possible in this season. It shows what we've known for ages and what we've been saying for ages, that the league is split into 2. And this really shows it because there's only 7 teams that can finish in the top 7. And other than that, you've got the other half of the league. There's plenty to play for in those barrage spots. I know there's 7 sides that can get into the top 6. But as you can see from the range of it, it's not guaranteed who's going to be there. And actually, there's only one guaranteed side in the... Well, Brive guaranteed the barrage, and only Grenoble have guaranteed that home semi-final. So plenty still to play for the barrage spots, and there are still 5 teams that could get relegated. There is a 5-point gap between Aurillac in 15th and Argennes in 14th, but there are still 5 teams that could get relegated. 4 teams above Aurillac that could get relegated. So let's get into these predictions and this preview. It is a really interesting round, and actually the first game of the round is arguably the game of the round and the biggest game that has the most focus for us, because Montauban v Beziers is a bit of a winner-takes-all. They are both locked on 72 points, 6th and 7th. They are 3 points behind Soyons-Angoulême in 5th. So the loser of this game would have a hell of a lot of ground to make up in that final game. It's not quite all done, but it's definitely winner-takes-all, you'd think. Both come into it off pretty disappointing results, to be honest. Montauban, arguably more disappointing because it was their showpiece game. Slightly better form. No doubt Beziers have been harmed by the injuries, and we've said it before, Marquez is so important for them, clearly, but Anseli and Pauter, 2 parts of their first-choice back row, they're big losses, especially Pauter, big ball carrier. They do get Gabin Law back, the star man, probably the best player in Pro Day Dirt this season. I was gutted not to see him away at Beziers when I was there for that game. They were pretty poor against Beziers, it has to be said. They didn't really show up. So we're both going for Montauban in that one. The home form, generally all right, and the injuries for Beziers, they haven't really shown much since they had those bad injuries and come back from the Six Nations, really, and the Rugby Europe Championships. The next game, Soyons-Angoulême versus Oyonnax. So, big game for both these sides. Oyonnax need the win to guarantee safety. they're pretty much there, but they need a win to guarantee it, or at some point. But they would like one, obviously, in this round. Their away form generally has been pretty poor. I'm really tempted to go for them, though, because the reverse fixture was an absolute hammering and probably Soyo-Angoulême's worst performance of the season. 50 points to 10, I think it was, or 53-10. But I think Saxby will kind of be out for revenge in that one. You know, they won't make the same mistakes. They were completely overpowered physically in every facet in that game away at Aurillac in December, I think it was. But they will be incredibly aware of that. They're the better team generally, and a win should secure them the barrage. They've still got a shout of home barrage game as well. Saxby are fallible at home. It won't be easy, I don't think, but I am also going to back Rich. I'm going to join Rich and back our boys, Soyo-Angoulême. Colomiers v Nice. Well, Nice have been in pretty good form since they kind of had their relegation confirmed. They beat Provence at home last round, which is a pretty good result, albeit Provence's away form isn't fantastic. But Colomiers are probably the form team in Pro D2. Not only are they got a load of wins, but they are playing some brilliant rugby, lots of pace, great running lines. They've got enough power to get themselves over the gain line to be able to play that sort of running game and use those quick outside backs. They should have too much for Nice in this one. We are both going for Colomiers, and that should confirm at least a home barrage game for Colomiers. The other side looking to do that and confirm a home barrage game is Provence. They've got a home game against Beziers. Their home form has been brilliant. They are 14 wins from 14 this season. They should really make it 15 from 15 and go unbeaten for the whole season at home. Beziers are safe after that win against Beziers in the game I was at in the last round. They were pretty good in that game, but they have been pretty terrible all year away from home. And although Provence's form doesn't look good, because of they've lost the last two, especially with that loss to Nice, we are both going for Provence. They should really be winning that. They've been so strong at home. Lovely evening for it, I'd imagine, down at Stade Maurice David. Mont-de-Marsan versus Valence Romans. Well, this is a tough one to call. Mont-de-Marsan need the win. That would guarantee their safety. They need a win within the last two. They've got a kind of winner-takes-all game potentially away at Agen next round. Having a home game now probably suits them. They won against Dax at home a couple of weeks ago in the Derby round. They were the much better team in that game. It was a game I was at. Their discipline is still an issue. That kind of kept letting Dax back into the game, albeit Dax couldn't pounce on it because their own set piece was so bad. Valence Romans, on the other hand, they are safe. In theory, they've got nothing to play for. They're clear of relegation. They can't make the barrage. But they've been playing some brilliant rugby. They absolutely hammered Nevers last time out in the Derby fixtures. And it's been a brilliant turnaround at the back end of the season. They're in such good form. You kind of think they could do it. Lucas Meret is the top point scorer by absolutely miles in Pro D2. It's over 100 points, which is incredible. So, if anyone in the league is going to punish Mont-de-Marsan for their ill discipline, it's going to be Lucas Meret and Valence Romans. Rich is going for Mont-de-Marsan. He's backing them at home. The good form, the good showing in the last game against Dax. They need the win. All those factors. He's going for them at Stade André Aiguille Boniface. I'm going for Valence Romans. I think Mont-de-Marsan are so unpredictable and so inconsistent, and that discipline could be a real factor, especially because of Lucas Meret. And then their lawned rivals that they played in that last game, Dax, they host Agen. And this is a really, really huge game. Big for both sides. It's a really tough one to call because both teams have been pretty terrible form of late. Dax, a shadow of the side they were this time last season. I thought they were really poor in the game I watched at Mont-de-Marsan. The other game I've seen them play in the flesh was away at Soyo-Angoulême. Yes, a much better team. Much further distance travel, but again they were pretty poor, and their set piece just seems to be nowhere near where it should be, especially given the size of some of their players and the bulk of human that they've got at their disposal. Their set piece, their maul game, their scrum is not good enough, and they've only got 2 wins in their last 10 games, 1 win in their last 4, and that was at home to lowly Aurillac. Their home record has just about stayed okay. It's definitely not what it was or what you'd expect from Dax. It's not that long ago that they lost 3 in a row at home. They're not fully safe. A win or a draw would make them safe. Losing bonus point probably does it. As for Aurillac, they are also in pretty bad form. 3 defeats in a row, albeit against tougher opponents in Brive, Colomiers and Soyo-Angoulême. 2 of those games have been at home, though, so they should have got a bit more out of them, maybe. They're such an unpredictable side as well. They kind of had this weird knack of getting a win when they really need one. And it's for that reason that we are both going for Aurillac. Seems like a really, really bold call. Dax should be doing much better. Aurillac have been pretty poor, but they've just got that knack of pulling out a win when they need it. Nevers v Aurillac. There's so much riding on this game, despite the fact Nevers have nothing to play for. They are safe despite their hammering away at Valence-Romans last time round. How much of a factor will it? The fact it's their last home game. They've got a pretty good home record. Generally, they're unbeaten in their last 7. But how much will that tragic news about Josiah Riesinger play a role? Will it kind of inspire a performance? And there's bound to be plenty of emotion around it. Aurillac need the win. Their points difference effectively means that they do need 2 wins from these 2 games. They're 5 points off the next highest, off the next team in the league. They do currently have the worst away record in the league, and that is not really what you want to be going into a must-win game with away from home. 2 wins and 3 losing bonus points in their 14 games so far. It's a tough one. No one wants to see Aurillac go down. They hold such a special status in Pro D2 generally, not just French rugby, but certainly in Pro D2. Their recruitment approach is different. They recruit so many players from the kind of tier 2 nations, as it were, the kind of lower emerging nations. And the fact that their role and their position in Pro D2, they've got a small budget. They kind of always have. They've punched above their weight for so long, and their recruitment of players from emerging nations has helped really grow those players and also grow the quality of those nations. We are seeing an improvement of the likes of Spain, Portugal, Netherlands, Germany. No one wants to see Aurillac go down. We really want to back the Lac, but this game is likely to be tinged with so much emotion because of Josiah Riesinger, and you would love to see Nevers pay a fitting tribute to him with a win. Hopefully no lifting of the ref on that victory. But as much as we would love to back the Lac, we are both going for Nevers because of the Riesinger factor. And to be honest, Aurillac's away record is just not quite there, and that's probably why they're so far down this season. The final game of the round, the 9 p.m. kickoff, Brive versus Grenoble, features another side that will have been impacted by this news today because Josiah Riesinger was due to join Brive next season. So there's going to be some emotion there, you'd imagine. Some of the guys in the squad will probably know him and will have helped recruit him. But aside from that, Brive are one of the form sides in Pro D2 along with Colomiers. They've won 6 games in a row. They've only lost 1 game at home all season. They've been fairly unbeatable since that slip up at home to Nevers. Courtney Laws, will he be out with a point to prove around the Lions squad? Bit of a late call up, still not out of contention for that. Grenoble, I mean, this should really be a precursor for the Pro D2 final, to be honest. Grenoble they are qualified for a home semi. They've got a brilliant home record. They haven't quite been the juggernaut that they were earlier in the season. They've lost their last 3 away games. They've had 3 defeats in their last 6 generally. One stage they had the best away record in the league, and that has now slipped to like 3rd or 4th with those last 3 away defeats. So as much as it could be a precursor to the Pro D2 final, it kind of might not be, because Rich and I have debated about how strong Grenoble will go in this game. Do they want to go strong and build some momentum going into the playoffs, knowing that the week after next they're going to have a week off because they won't be in the barrage? Or do they just rest everyone up, not show their hand to Brive, keep everyone back for the final home game? It does all hinge on Grenoble's selection. Brive should be able to secure themselves a home semi-final either way, and we are both going for Brive to get that win. Rich definitely thinks that Grenoble will send such a weakened side. So, yeah, that's a big factor. Also, Brive love a 9 p.m. Friday game. They're kind of become a bit of a specialist of it. So there we have it. An interesting round for more than just the kind of pure stats, obviously, and the places in the league and so much to play for. But Pro D2 gets so exciting at this stage of the season. Obviously, it's always exciting and always unpredictable. But the last couple of seasons, the last few rounds have been absolutely wild. What is going to happen? There will be something crazy will happen. Something mad will happen. There'll be a shock coming from somewhere. We say it every week. But this is the round. And this week and next week is where it all comes down to. And there will be so much wild stuff going on. I just know it. And that is why we love Pro D2. All eyes on that Thursday night game. Montauban v Beziers. All to play for in that one. And then probably Friday, all eyes on that Aurillac game. Can they take it into that last week? They just need that win. Come on, Aurillac. Take us to the final week for some real drama. Let us know what you think. Put us in the comments. Let us get in touch. You can follow us on all your favourite social media platforms. We are at Rosbeast Rugby on all of them. Give us a like and give us a follow. But we want to hear from you. What do you think is going to happen in this round? Do you disagree with us? Do you agree with us? Get in touch.